Okay. Hello, welcome to workout 1.1. We are starting at the beginning with a workout for glutes and core. I'm sure this will be really doable, but we want to build a firm foundation in order to be able to progress successfully and safely. And hopefully this will be quite enjoyable at the same time. So, beginning with a warm-up and an air squat. We just reach forwards and sit down effectively. As we do so, the hips come back slightly, but we squeeze the tummy in at the same time. So, really nice. I like to inhale on my way down, exhale as I come up. This is really a good habit to get the breathing synced for the resistance phase of a move. So although we're only using body weight, in this position we are activating the glutes. It is body weight resistance. So we inhale on the way down, we exhale on the way up. So it's also quite nice and therapeutic. Okay, so we've done about 12 of those. Now we're going to come to our second move for a warm-up, which is just a march, standing march. Hands on hips or use your arms, whatever feels good. 5 and 6, let's do 6 more. 6, 2 and 1. Brilliant. Okay, block 1, we're going to come down to the mat and we are going to come to a box position, making sure that our knees and our hands are nice and squarely under our joints. So the hands are under the shoulders, the knees are under the hips. Okay, first move, we're going to come to a regressed bird dog. So by that I mean we're not lifting the foot yet. We're going to just tap the diagonally opposite foot and lift the diagonally opposite arm. But keep the hips really square. Keep the supporting arm, the arm that's not reaching forwards, really straight. Okay. So you'll immediately feel a bit of activation in the core if you're doing this. Remember again to breathe. So inhale as we come back to centre. Exhale as we move out. So again, we're doing about 10 of these. So I think we've got 3 more. So that's 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Second move is on our right side. We're going to just come to our right side and we're going to bring the right elbow underneath the shoulder. And we are going to make sure our right knee is in line with the right hip. We're going to press through that hip and lift up into a half side plank. Okay, really nice. And hold 30 seconds. Pulling the tummy button in. This top leg is straight and really not doing much, it's just resting. And we're pressing through the bottom knee. Now if 30 seconds is a bit long, come down and then come back up again if you can. That's really good. So we are building up right from the beginning. So don't worry if it does feel quite difficult at the moment. Then we're back to bird dog again. Okay, but I'm going to go the other way actually. Just for the sake of symmetry. Okay, and we're going to reach and tap for 10 and 2 and 3. Keeping those arms nice and straight, tapping the leg out, back of the knee pressing towards the ceiling. Good. 5 more, I think. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Okay, now we're coming to the left side for our half side plank. Left elbow under the shoulder, making sure that we're in a nice straight line from head to heel here. And my knee is in line with this bottom hip. Then I'm going to press down and reach up. Really good. And hold. So we are working the outside of the glute, the side of the glute, the shoulder a little bit, and of course it's the side of the core as well. And let's just try to bring the arm as much overhead the shoulder as we can. Keep breathing and lower down if you need a bit of a break, and then restart again, reset if you can for a few more seconds until we get to 30 seconds, which is about now. Okay, brilliant work. Okay, we're going to just go through that one more time. Same exercise, just repeating it. Now this time, if you want to bring the back toe off the mat, you can. And we're reaching and stretching the toe and the hand apart, keeping the back as flat as we can. And starting to feel activation through the glute and the core. Hopefully, maybe top of the shoulder. So I've got my back toe tucked and I'm just aware I'm trying to keep myself nice and square and balanced as I reach. So I'm reaching, looking at the mat, and hopefully my head is in line with my spine. That's what I'm aiming for. Okay, let's just do two more, one more after this, and last one. Excellent. Okay, half side plank on the right side. So we want again to make sure we're in a nice straight line, head to heel. We want to have the knee in a nice straight line with the hip and the shoulder, and then reaching up, pressing through the outside of this knee. The foot is coming out directly behind this bottom knee. This is the half side plank again. And just kind of get comfortable in the moderate challenge. You should now be feeling in the outside of the glute on this bottom leg. Now, if it's difficult one side more than another, don't worry, that's quite normal. Also, if it just feels really hard, you know, you can come down like I just did and reset. Try and keep the tummy button drawn in, the spine straight and long. This is also working those small muscles around the spine, so it's a very good exercise to be doing regularly as we build a base for stability. Okay, coming to the other direction. This is the last time we do this pair of moves, and the dog again. And we're going to lift the heel if you can. Reach, keeping everything square. And we're going for 6 more. So, and 5, reach, making everything square. And 4, back to 3. Really reach. 2. And 1. Okay, finishing there. Really nice. Moving into our side plank on the left hand side. So left elbow, under shoulder, bringing that knee in line with the hip. Oh, I'm just moving so I am in on the mat. And coming up into our side plank again. Inhale, lift the head so it's in line with the spine. It can be tempting to let the head drop, rest on the shoulder. We want to avoid that. Okay. Again, engaging the core, noticing it might well feel a bit different on each side. The foot on this lower leg should be behind the knee, so there's a 90-degree angle at the knee. Keep breathing, lower it down and reset if you need to. And just a few more seconds. This is very good work. It's an isometric hold, this is called in fitness language, and your body has to do quite a lot of work to hold itself in these positions. Okay, coming down. Really good. Block 1 done. So coming to block 2, we are staying on the mat, sitting yourself down, knees bent, hands behind thighs as we gradually lower ourselves to the mat. We're going to start off with a move that is more about the awareness of our bodies than anything else, with a pelvic tilt. So when we breathe in, we fill the lungs with air, the belly relaxes. When we breathe out, we engage the core and the lower back flattens to the mat and the pelvis tilts forwards. So this is the pelvic tilt. Just practice with me. Inhale, fill the lungs. Exhale, pelvic tilt. Inhale, fill the lungs, and exhale, pelvic tilt. Engage the core, feel the pelvic floor contract at the same time. Inhale, exhale, tilt, and press that lower back into the mat. Let's just do 3 more. Inhale, tilt. Inhale and tilt. You can really practice squeezing that core, and it's actually quite a good exercise for the core all on its own. Even though this is a really small move, you might not see me doing, it's not dramatic. Well, you can see, but it's tiny. Hopefully you will be better able to feel this yourself than see what I'm doing in this case. Okay, less chatter. Moving to the next thing, bringing the knees to the chest, having a gentle hug of those knees, maybe rocking side to side. This can be quite therapeutic for the lower back. Okay, with that in mind, stability, the first move we're going to come to is a simple glute bridge. Heels under knees, arms alongside the body, and we're going to press through the heels and lift the pelvis, moving vertebra by vertebra. We are inhaling as we lower down from the shoulders to the bottom of the spine, but not coming to the mat with the lumbar. We're going to then press up again, moving as we press through the heels, pelvis as high as we can get it, and knees slightly forwards. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift and squeeze. Finding your rhythm. Hopefully feeling that tension building in the glutes and the hamstrings. Hopefully more the glutes. It's really simple, but there's a lot to think about. If we're honest, if we really go into how it feels in our bodies, you can feel the movement from the top of the spine through the middle to the lower spine as we lower, and the reverse as we lift up through the heels. Let's just do 1 more. And exhale. Squeezing those glutes. Pressing the knees forwards and lowering down. And hugging those knees to the chest briefly. Coming up to sitting. Okay. Really good. So that's the first move in the sequence. We've got 4 moves, so hang on, we've got 2 more coming up. We're actually going to come back to the mat. Okay, and we're going to use that knowledge of pressing the lower back into the mat as we get into tabletop legs. So the pelvis is slightly forwards, arms by your side, and we're just going to lower 1 heel, bringing the legs back to what is called tabletop with the shins horizontal to the ceiling, and tap. We're going for 10. So that's 2, we're going for 8, and 7, and 6. Keep the core squeezed in, lower back press to the mat. Feel how this is gently working across the abs here. You should feel there's a firmness. And the chin should be towards the collarbone, and we keep breathing. Exhale. exhale as we lower. And let's go 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, hugging the knees and placing the feet on the mat again, but slightly wider, placing the feet to the outside of the mat here. And we are going to come up into a bridge, this time with the feet wider. So simple. Inhale as we lower. Exhale as we lift up and squeeze. So the difference here, it's working a little bit more the outside of the glutes. Again, we're going to go for 10, and we're going to scoop the pelvis up as we get to this lower position without quite placing the back of the pelvis on the mat. And then we're going to lift up and squeeze. Rolling down. Exhale as we press up through the heels. Thinking about moving the spine little bit by little bit, vertebra by vertebra, and be conscious that we're pushing evenly if you can through both feet. Okay, we've got halfway, so it's reasonably hard work, but in a good way, we can feel it working. We've got 2 more. Rolling down, rolling up. You'll also feel this bit more in the back of the hamstrings, as well as the side of the glutes. And rolling down, bringing the pelvis to the mat, hugging the knees to the chest, rocking side to side, and then lengthening the arms. We're going to try a rock and roll, which is forward and backward movement. We're also engaging the core here. In this gentle movement, maybe we only come in a small little rock to begin, and then maybe we get a bit of confidence as we engage the core, and you can rock forward and back to sit. Have a go, don't worry if that's not comfortable at the moment. Okay, we're going to come to a few moves to finish, including our forearm plank. Half forearm plank, so let me show you what I mean here. Let's start in box, then we're going to tip onto the front of our knees, and then we're going to lower the elbows under the shoulders. We're going to interlace the hands. We're going to draw the tummy button in and up. We've got the heels out behind ourselves, and we're here in a forearm plank. We're going to hold as we did the half side plank for 30 seconds. So, it's not necessarily that interesting on its own, but if we are challenging ourselves, we have to concentrate, we have to think about how our spine is. Head to hip should be a nice straight line, and if we're pulling the tummy button in towards the spine, this should feel like effort. You should feel the work, so that's really good. Just a few more seconds. And then pressing up through the hands if you can, tipping the feet back to the floor, drawing the hips down and back, head towards the mat, coming into a child's pose. Forehead towards the mat. Inhale, breathe and sigh it out. Feeling a lovely stretch in the lower back and top of the shoulders. This is an important stretch in its own right, not just a rest. Okay, and then finally, we're going to come to a kneeling position and just take a little bit of a hip flexor stretch. So the front of the hip is what we're stretching. We're going to bend this knee forwards, and we're just going to lift the chest, squeeze shoulder blades together, and feel that stretch. We can either interlace the hands or hold the opposite elbows and turn to make it a little bit harder, or not. This enables us to get a bit deeper into the stretch, which is really nice. Keep the toes on the front foot relaxed and breathe. And then coming out, balance might be an issue here, so however is best for you at the moment to do this stretch. It might be just hands on hips and pressing forwards with the back leg to get that stretch in the front of the hip. As the knee comes forward, that might be enough. But hopefully you will, in time, get to be able to do the turn as well. And finishing there. Really well done. Feel free to revisit this and you will be building glute and core strength. So, okay, thanks again for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that and see you soon.